What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about some spicy new content that's just sitting there ready to release within Black Ops 7. Now, a few days ago, before I learned this information, I did ask you guys on Twitter if you thought Paranoia would end up being the new Stakeout for this game. It's a map that only supports face-off game modes. It doesn't take place outside at all whatsoever, which means score streaks are going to be disabled by default. In the face-off playlist, though, we have a couple of maps available that you can play right now, but something Treyarch set out to do with this game compared to BO6 is to design more maps that support both regular 6v6 and then face-off 6v6. But don't worry, we're going to circle back to face-off and especially a new iteration of Stakeout later in this video. Definitely stay tuned. Something funny I also haven't had a chance to address yet is the fact that there's a secret green screen map inside of Black Ops 7, only available through private matches right now. I think we should get a petition going to maybe add, let's say, an April Fool's or some type of limited 24/7 playlist of this map, because it would just be pure chaos. It would be the craziest map, I think, by far, compared to Shipment or Stakeout, any map you could think of. It would be super funny, but obviously this is great for content creators out there that want to get some clean inspecs and very easily key out the weapon for a thumbnail they're working on. Now, we'll see if this ends up coming back in future COD entries. Hopefully becomes a staple of just COD HQ in general. I know there was a small green screen in Rebirth Island through one of the bunkers, and there's been some other infamous areas of old MP maps that have been used for screenshots, but this is the best thing that I think they've added in for content creators. I've also seen questions asking about Nuketown private match support. That's not something that has been talked about yet, but I'm assuming they're waiting until the Easter egg is ready with the mannequins. That's when they'll end up dropping Nuketown private match support. Last year for BO6, things were a bit different, where we were all hunting, hoping that there was an Easter egg live when Nuketown got added to private matches, but there wasn't until the first season. But I also wanted to take a look at this report from insider The Ghost of Hope. He's reporting that in Season 2 of Black Ops 7, we're going to be seeing maps like Plaze, Yemen, and Slums remastered from the original BO2. Slums is a map that has popped up several times over the years. We saw it in BO3 if you pre-ordered BO4 digitally. We saw the map again in BO4 at launch, I believe, and then the map got remastered again for Black Ops Cold War. I've always liked Slums. I think it always played exceptional within S&D, but maps like Yemen and Plaze have never been remade before. The funny thing about Yemen is that you can actually preview it right now within Avalon if you jump over into Endgame. We knew about this around a year ago when we went ahead and did a free roam outside of maps like Lowtown or even Stakeouts. Yemen was also teased on a recent Treyarch dev talk where they mentioned that a map that was iconic for competitive search and destroy in Black Ops 2 would be coming back at some point in the future. When it comes to Plaze, though, this is a map that we've never seen come back to any capacity, so I'm really curious to see how this plays in a modern Call of Duty with newer movement. It's going to be completely different, but this was an absolute legendary map back from the launch window of Black Ops 2. Curious to see what music's going to be playing inside of the club as well. Now, Hope claimed these are maps for Season 2. Take that with a grain of salt, of course. I think it's possible that maybe references to these maps will get leaked with the upcoming Season 1 updates, in which case that would support that, yeah, the maps are going to be coming pretty soon and within a good month or two of 2026. While it's also possible these maps could end up releasing even later in the year, you just never know, I think there's a good chance that most of the maps from the original BO2 are going to come back, especially if we're getting a good 6 to 8 multiplayer maps every season. Now, if you actually go out of bounds in Express, people have been making jokes that an entire country has been rendered out in the distance, and yeah, there's definitely some detail there that you wouldn't expect to honestly be in the background of a remaster like this. There's actually 2 locations that I want to point out to you guys. The first one is Gridlock, a map that you can actually see vaguely in the distance of a recent blog image that they released for Black Ops 7 MP. Gridlock is a map that released at launch within BO4 and has always been a very well-received map from that game. I personally really liked it. It played really well on Control, S&D, lots of other modes that I can think of. And I do believe apart from a plethora of BO2 remastered maps that we'll end up getting within Black Ops 7, you'll also see a map sneak in here and there from Black Ops 3, 4, maybe even Cold War. And there's probably just one map coming back from BO6 that we're going to get to in just a few minutes. And we also have a map set on a skyscraper known as Vertigo, which was actually released during the DLC season of the original BO2. When I cameoed on the COD pod following COD Next, it was actually confirmed by Matt Scrons that yes, they do have plans to bring back old school DLC maps that again have never been remastered a single time. But I have seen quite a few folks in the community say that they could spot Vertigo in the distance. I think I might have found the building. If not, I'll end up re-recording a segment and putting it in a future video. Vertigo is a map that I really like back from the DLC season of BO2, and there's no doubt in my mind that if it's going to be anywhere in the distance of another map, it's going to be in this downtown area that is a couple of miles away from Express. Now, there's definitely some maps just sitting there in BO7 that are waiting to release. It's just unclear when they're going to be dropping, which season in particular. There is a map, however, that I feel like is going to come sooner than later. I doubt they'll wait too long to drop this one if it is meant to come back. According to Leaker Reality UK, Stakeout, a face-off map from BO6, is allegedly the only BO6 map that is meant to carry forward into this game. I've already seen lots of controversy about this rumor. Again, it is completely unconfirmed, but I see it being pretty believable, even though I feel like maps such as Paranoia and probably some future face-off maps could take the place of Stakeout, in that there could be some spaces where you could very easily get your headshots done, your calling card challenges, some other camo unlocks. We don't have to just get a remaster of Stakeout to make sure that we get a bunch of challenges done. However, there are probably some folks that would say, yeah, getting challenges done was infinitely faster because of that map in BO6, so why not get it back inside of Black Ops 7? It'll be optional if you want to jump into it. It's also unclear if it'll be an exact one-to-one, or they at least give it a bit of a futuristic makeover with a much more futuristic looking kitchen, bedroom, or will it just look exactly the same as we saw it in BO6? I'm kind of suspecting that it'll be a one-to-one carry forward map where they won't really change much, considering Fringe, a map that got added a little bit late in the BO6 life cycle, is going to be added into BO7 multiplayer later on in Season 1. It doesn't look any more futuristic than the version we just saw a few months ago. Competitive players love it, so I'm sure they're happy about seeing Fringe come back. But back on Stakeout, and apart from the futuristic looking refrigerators that you can see, I still think they're probably just going to end up using this version you can see right here in Endgame, which does have a couple of differences. They might even move the head glitch around, some of the centerpieces, some of the couches, or just some elements of the kitchen to spice it up a pinch. But overall, I don't think it'll be much different from the brain-rotted version we saw in Black Ops 6. Speaking of brain rot, look, if you don't like Stakeout, don't play it. It's as simple as that. I did see comments suggesting that it'll expedite the progression system a little bit too much to where folks out there start unlocking things a little bit too quickly. And honestly, the way I see it, I don't really mind, considering there's so many other avenues of progression that we're going to be able to explore in Black Ops 7 with weapons, the camo grinds in zombies, Warzone, endgame co-op campaign. So I don't really see the issue with having a faster way to get things done in multiplayer if you choose to go down that route. You don't have to. Plus, with a big emphasis that Black Ops 7 does have on bigger maps, not just medium-sized 6v6, but even skirmish 20v20, which may get support in the long run, I really don't think we're going to go down a rabbit hole like we did with BO6, where every season there's 2 to 3, if not more, smaller size maps, which would continue to fuel the conversation that modern-day Call of Duty multiplayer is really centered around fast-paced, short attention span, close quarters, hectic type of gameplay, which Stakeout absolutely embodied. Now, to wrap things up when it comes to some other content you maybe didn't know about, let's first talk about a Megan Thee Stallion operator for Call of Duty. This isn't actually something that's relevant to Black Ops 7 from my understanding, but it looks like a lawyer did confirm on Twitter she was meant to have a big deal with Call of Duty a couple of years ago that ended up falling through once Megan learned that she would be able to be shot inside of the game. And again, it's because, look at all Call of Duty operators, right? You're on the field, anybody could shoot you and vice versa. She didn't understand that. Nicki Minaj took the deal instead. It's unclear if we'll end up getting any celebrity type operator skins, again, within Black Ops 7. But it looks like a classic David Mason look is going to be coming in a separate bundle at some point in Season 1. The initial Season 1 blog post didn't really give us a glimpse of any operator bundles, really. We didn't get to see very much. A couple of skins here, one for Takeo. We have another odd looking skin there. We didn't get to see too many. However, the cosmetic focused blog that'll also be talking about the Battle Pass is probably going to end up dropping this Tuesday, in which I'll end up making a separate follow-up video talking more about all the cosmetics that we're going to know of at that point. While the Season 1 roadmap also gave us a glimpse at some of the Tracer bundles and Mastercrafts that we're going to be seeing over the next couple of weeks, I'm sure the bundle skins are going to end up being far superior than the Battle Pass skins that we've seen thus far, since it looks like they're going to be scaling things back quite a bit with the goofy, wacky, colorful, vibrant cosmetics, at least for the first season of BO7. Now, something we'll talk more about in the coming weeks, as I'm sure we're going to get tons of leaks about this following the download and install of Season 1, December 4th, is that we're going to be getting a big crossover of some sort within the first season. It's unclear what the crossover is. Rumors suggest it's going to coincide with Fallout Season 2, the TV show, and it'll end up being a much bigger Fallout collab than the one we saw in Modern Warfare 3. So whether we get power armor added into endgame as like some type of world event, since there's a world event currently unknown, whether it's an LTM in multiplayer, we know there's a secret LTM also coming to zombies, or whether it's operator bundles for Lucy, the Ghoul. All of that is totally up in the air, but I feel like Fallout is one of those collabs that even folks out there that don't like cosmetic bundles can't really complain about, because people have been asking for a faithful Call of Duty and Fallout collab for many, many years. But also hear me out, it's being said we're going to be seeing another map reskin with Season 1 Reloaded, so I guess that would also mean that the Fallout collab is with Reloaded, even though I think it could be a little bit before that. I do believe the reskin could be for Nuketown, which would actually make the most sense if you've played the games or watched the show, and would also help explain why there isn't a Christmas variant of Nuketown coming, since we're getting a hijacked reskin this December instead. But I'm guessing it'll be similar to last year, where as a surprise during the first week of January, we end up getting a big collab that is separate from a season or a mid-season update, and the crossover itself features a ton of content. We'll dive into that, and then I want to say by the end of January, or maybe a bit before that, we'll end up getting the actual Season 1 Reloaded content drop. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. Quite a bit of spicy content just sitting there in the back end of BO7, with quite a bit that probably hasn't even been reported on yet. We'll be making plenty of brand new videos over the next couple of days, especially with the launch of Season 1, as there'll be quite a bit to break down for every single game mode. With that being said, really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.